We're standing in the main section here of the barn, the Donnelly barn. This particular barn was built in 1877, shortly after the original barn was burned. The insurance money, fortunately they did have insurance, allowed them to build this. This is a medium-sized standard pioneer barn. All of the wood here that you see inside the barn is hardwood. Most of it is hardwood, and there are no nails used except to hold the outer boards on. We've had winds upwards of 115 kilometers an hour here, and we've lost the odd barn board, but the main structure, being held with pins, mortise and tenon, has not really changed since 1877 when it was built. This particular barn is a repository for a number of entities. Use that word again. Entities, I don't like to use the word ghosts. I like to use the word specters. There are a number that are here, some of whom are not even aware of the fact that they're no longer in a physical body. We've had a number of people who've come by here who have commented before a tour, and they'd say, excuse me, they'd say, I know it sounds really dumb, but I get the strange feeling I'm being watched. This has happened so many times I've lost count. People have stated that they have a feeling. Some people cannot walk into the barn here without the hair coming up in the back of their neck. Being the type of person that I am now, when I close my eyes, I can sense quite a few entities here. You're never alone. I do not allow this anymore, but I did at one time allow individuals to come and spend the night in the barn. But because of insurance reasons, it's not done anymore. One fella stayed here on Halloween night several years ago. He's a lot better now. He had rather vivid nightmares. 2 years ago, a couple came in their 30s, and he was able to sleep, but she was not. She sat up here in the straw, and shortly after 1 o'clock in the morning, with just a lantern hanging on a nail here, a real lantern, and it wasn't here for ambience. It was here because we don't have electricity here in the barn. Shortly after 1 o'clock, he was awakened, and he sat bolt upright, and both of them heard the sound of footsteps coming toward them in the straw. He then felt pressure on his chest. There was no pain, there was just a lot of pressure, and he had to get up and move around, and it went away. He just felt that very frightening situation. Now you might play devil's advocate and say, well, because he knows what is going on here, that this is reputed to be a haunted barn and what have you, and therefore he's going to set his mind. Well, you can make your own decision on that. But we don't have people stay here anymore because, as I said, because of insurance reasons. And perhaps the most valuable of the artifacts we have is this particular one here. Now, I normally don't take this out. However, at the funeral, Father John Connolly thought he was going to be arrested at any minute because it was his Peace Society that was responsible for becoming the vigilantes. And Jenny Donnelly at the funeral could not be consoled. Several days she cried and was just wrought with anguish over the loss of her parents and her brothers and her cousin. Father John Connolly took the cloth that was at the front of the church on the altar. He took it and he presented it to Jenny Donnelly. And before she died in 1916 at the age of 58, she presented it to one of her sons. And before he died in the 1980s, in his 80s, he gave this to his very good friend, a man by the name of Mr. Walters. Mr. Walters, who is now well over 80, when he discovered that I was living here, he presented it to me. Now, Mr. Walters happens to be a descendant of the boy who hid under the bed. So not only was he a good friend of Jenny Donnelly's children, he was quite a bit younger at the time, he still knew an awful lot about the family, and he was entrusted with this. And when he discovered that I was living here and basically a Donnelly sympathizer, then he wanted me to have this particular artifact. All of these artifacts are original. They have been either given to me or I have exhumed them.